Once upon a time, in a modest town surrounded by dusty roads and quiet mornings, there lived a student named Daniel. Daniel was not stupid. He was not lazy in the way people imagine laziness. And he was not lacking dreams. But Daniel failed every single day. He failed his quizzes. He failed his exams. He failed his promises to himself. Every morning, he walked to school with heavy steps, already tired before the day had even begun. His backpack was full of books, but his mind was full of doubt. He sat in the classroom, staring at the blackboard, while numbers and words floated past him like clouds he could never catch. When the teacher asked a question, Daniel lowered his head. When results were announced, his name was always near the bottom. When classmates laughed and celebrated, Daniel quietly packed his bag and went home. At first, he told himself it didn't matter. "Grades don't define me," he said. "I'll do better next time." But next time never came. At home, his parents worried but tried not to show it. They reminded him gently to study, to focus, to try harder. Daniel nodded every time, promising that tomorrow would be different. Tomorrow was always different in his imagination, but in reality, it looked exactly the same. He waited for motivation. He waited to feel inspired. He waited for the perfect mood. And while he waited, days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into years. One evening, after another disappointing report card, Daniel sat alone in his room. His desk was clean, his books unopened. The room was silent, but his thoughts were loud. "Why do I always fail?" he whispered to himself. "Why does everyone else move forward while I stay here?" For the first time, he didn't blame the teachers. He didn't blame bad luck. He didn't blame the system. He felt something heavier: quiet shame. The next day at school, Daniel noticed an old man sitting on a bench near the playground. The man came every afternoon, always at the same time. He wore simple clothes, held a book, and watched students pass by without saying a word. Curious, Daniel slowed down. "Why are you always here?" Daniel asked one day. The old man smiled gently. "I like watching beginnings," he said. "Beginnings of what?" Daniel asked. "Of habits," the man replied. Daniel didn't understand, but something about the answer stayed with him. The following day, Daniel sat beside the old man. He didn't know why. Maybe he just needed someone who wouldn't judge him. "I fail every day," Daniel said suddenly. The words came out before he could stop them. The old man nodded, as if he had heard this many times before. "Do you fail every day?" he asked. "Or do you repeat the same day every day?" Daniel frowned. "I don't see the difference," he said. The old man closed his book. "Tell me," he said calmly, "what do you do when you wake up?" Daniel shrugged. "I check my phone. I lie in bed. I rush to school." "And when do you study?" the man asked. Daniel hesitated. "Sometimes at night, if I feel like it." The old man smiled again, but this time there was sadness in his eyes. "Then you are not failing," he said. "You are practicing failure." Those words hit Daniel harder than any bad grade. "Success," the old man continued, "is not built by big decisions. It is built by small habits, repeated when no one is watching." Daniel felt uncomfortable. "But I try," he said. "I really do." The old man nodded. "I believe you. But trying without structure is like pouring water into a cracked cup." Daniel stayed silent. "Come back tomorrow," the old man said as he stood up. "I want to show you something." The next afternoon, Daniel returned. The old man was waiting. Without saying a word, he handed Daniel a small notebook and a pen. "Write down the one habit you do every day," he said. Daniel thought for a moment. "Checking my phone," he said quietly. The old man smiled. Good. Now we will replace it. With what? Daniel asked. With 10 minutes, the old man replied. 10 minutes of what? 10 minutes of studying. Every day. Same time, same place. No excuses. Daniel almost laughed. 10 minutes won't change anything. The old man looked at him kindly. Neither did 0, he said. That night, Daniel sat at his desk for 10 minutes. Only 10. He read 1 page, solved 1 problem, wrote 1 note. When the timer ended, he stopped. It felt pointless, but it also felt different. The next day, he did it again, and the next. Some days, his mind wandered. Some days, he felt bored. Some days, he wanted to quit. But the habit was small enough that it didn't scare him. 10 minutes became 15. 15 became 20. Weeks passed. Something strange began to happen. Daniel started understanding lessons in class. He raised his hand once, then twice. His grades didn't jump overnight, but they moved. Slowly, quietly. One day, he failed a test again. But this time, he didn't feel crushed. He went home and studied for 10 minutes anyway. That was the moment everything changed. Because failure no longer stopped him. Months passed. The notebook filled with pages. The habit became automatic. Daniel stopped waiting for motivation. He studied even when he didn't feel like it. Especially when he didn't feel like it. One afternoon, Daniel found the old man on the bench again. I still fail sometimes, Daniel admitted. The old man nodded. So does everyone who grows. But I don't feel stuck anymore, Daniel said. The old man smiled. That is because you changed one habit, not your personality. At the end of the year, Daniel passed. Not perfectly, not at the top, but he passed. More importantly, he believed in himself again. Years later, Daniel would look back and realize something important. He didn't succeed because he became smarter. He didn't succeed because life became easier. He succeeded because he stopped relying on motivation and started relying on habits. And that one small habit, 10 minutes a day, changed everything. If you are listening to this story and feel like Daniel, remember this. You don't fail because you are incapable. You fail because your habits are working against you. Change one habit. Make it small. Make it daily. And let time do the rest. Because success is not a moment. It is a quiet routine, repeated every day.